Ever get the feeling that your dreams are trying to tell you something? Like they mean something?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But you just can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, we're diving into Sigmund Freud's The Interpretation of Dreams to try to figure that out.
Okay.
You might already know that before Freud, people thought dreams were like messages from the gods or glimpses into the future.
Right, yeah.
But Freud kind of said, no, it's not like that at all. He argued that dreams actually come from inside us, like our hidden desires and experiences.
Yeah, that was a pretty radical idea back then.
Yeah.
A lot of people were not on board with that.
Really?
Yeah, Freud even joked about how some scientists just weren't curious about new ideas.
Huh. Interesting. Okay, so what does that actually mean for us dreamers?
Right.
Freud's big idea is that dreams are basically wish fulfillment.
Okay.
Even the weird ones, even the scary ones. He breaks it down into two types.
Okay.
Dreams where the wish is obvious and dreams where it's disguised.
Right.
So it's kind of like a courtroom.
Okay.
Where even if some explanations don't hold up, if just one does, the dreamer is innocent.
He's not saying that every single thought in a dream is a wish.
Okay.
It's more like the whole dream is driven by a wish.
Okay.
Often one we're not even aware of.
So you're telling me that my dream about showing up to a test in my underwear is actually a wish coming true?
Well, it might be.
Okay.
Let's look at some of the examples Freud uses.
Okay.
Remember the woman who dreams of smoked salmon? She's hosting a dinner party. But her friend's favorite food, smoked salmon, keeps popping up in the dream.
Okay.
Turns out she's been craving it, but denying herself because she's on a diet. So that hidden desire is driving the dream.
So even a simple food craving can like fuel a whole dream.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. What about those dreams where something terrible happens?
Okay.
Like a loved one dying?
Yeah.
Are those wishes too?
It's not that simple. Think of the dream about the young woman whose nephew dies. On the surface, it seems tragic.
Yeah.
But when you dig deeper, the dream reveals a hidden wish connected to her...
To her what?
To her longing for more freedom in her own life.
Okay, interesting.
And then there's the man who dreamt of being arrested for infanticide.
Oh, gosh.
That sounds awful, right?
Yeah.
But the analysis showed it was tied to his secret affair and his fear of his mistress getting pregnant.
I'm starting to see how even the most disturbing dreams could be connected to a wish, even if it's one we'd never admit to.
Yeah.
So how do we figure out what our dreams are really saying?
Right.
Is there like a secret decoder ring?
Well, Freud talks about this dream work.
Okay.
It's like your mind is a master code maker, and it uses all these tricks like symbolism, where an image stands in for something else.
Right.
There's also condensation,
Okay.
where it packs multiple ideas into one image, and displacement, which shifts the focus away from the real issue. It's all designed to disguise the true wish.
So to understand a dream,
Yeah.
we need to know the dreamer, like their past, their relationships, especially their childhood experiences.
Exactly.
Okay.
Freud even uses examples from literature and mythology, like the story of Oedipus,
Okay.
to show how complex these dream processes can be.
Wow.
He also points out that even jokes use similar tricks to create humor.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So maybe our dreams are just trying to be funny in a twisted way.
So are you saying my dreams are basically stand-up routines I'm not getting?
Haha, not exactly.
Okay.
But they are using similar mechanisms to communicate in a roundabout way. What really stands out to you so far? Anything clicking?
Honestly, it's blowing my mind that even seemingly random dreams could be so meaningful.
Yeah.
But this is just the tip of the iceberg, right?
Right.
There's got to be more.
Let's delve into some common dream themes that Freud analyzes. They might help you understand your own dreams even better.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, so let's talk about those common dream themes. You know, the ones we've all had.
Yeah.
Like that dream where you're suddenly naked in public,
Oh, yeah.
totally exposed.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's mortifying.
It is.
What's Freud's take on that one?
Well, he suggests it often goes back to childhood.
Okay.
You know, a time when we weren't so self-conscious about our bodies.
Right.
Those early experiences of being cared for and, you know, naked in front of others
Yeah.
can leave a lasting mark on our subconscious.
So those like baby anxieties can come back to haunt us in our dreams, even when we're all grown up.
Pretty much.
I guess it makes sense, even if it's not very fun to experience.
Yeah.
And then there are the dreams about the death of loved ones, often parents.
Right.
Again, Freud links these back to childhood, to the complicated feelings we have towards our parents when we're young.
Yeah.
You mean like that whole Oedipus complex thing?
Yeah.
Isn't that a bit controversial?
It definitely is.
Right.
But putting the Oedipus complex aside for a moment,
Okay.
the point is that these dreams highlight the power of the unconscious to process emotions and experiences that we might not be fully aware of in our waking lives.
So it's like our dreams are giving us a chance to work through all that emotional baggage we've been carrying around.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, what about those dreams of flying or falling?
Oh, yeah.
I actually kind of love those.
They're so exhilarating.
Freud connects those to the freedom of movement we had as kids. You know, like swinging, jumping, being lifted in the air by your parents.
Right.
Dreams of flying or falling tap into those memories.
Okay.
Though sometimes that feeling of freedom gets twisted into anxiety as we lose control.
So even a fun dream can have a dark side.
Yeah, sometimes.
What about that classic examination dream?
Oh, yeah.
I swear I still have those sometimes, even though I haven't been in school for years.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Why is that?
Well, that one reflects the anxiety of being judged or found inadequate.
Right.
It's something we all face at different points in life.
Yeah.
Often these dreams pop up when we're facing a new challenge
Okay.
in our waking lives.
Uh-huh.
Something that triggers those old anxieties about our abilities.
You know, I never thought about it that way, but it's true.
Yeah.
I tend to have those dreams right before a big presentation at work. So it's like my dream is helping me prep for the challenge.
In a way, yes.
Interesting.
It's giving you a chance to confront those anxieties.
Right.
And maybe even work through them before the real test comes.
Okay.
Freud even joked that in dreams we have to be mad north-northwest.
What?
Just like Hamlet.
Oh, okay.
Our minds play tricks on us.
Speaking of tricks.
Yeah.
What about those dreams that make absolutely no sense?
Right.
Like I once dreamt I was brushing my teeth with a pickle. What's up with that?
Well, Freud has a whole section on dream absurdity. And he argues that those nonsensical elements often express contradictions or criticisms within our own thoughts. It's like our subconscious is trying to say something,
Right.
but it has to do it in this roundabout coded language
Okay.
because of censorship.
The dream sensor, right? We talked about that earlier. It's like a mental bouncer, keeping those unacceptable thoughts and desires from reaching the conscious mind.
Yeah, keeping them down.
So sometimes the only way those repressed thoughts can get through is by disguising themselves
Yeah,
in absurd or nonsensical imagery.
right.
So even a pickle toothbrush can have a deeper meaning.
It might,
But how do we figure out what that meaning is?
right?
It feels like trying to solve a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma.
Well, Freud offers a few techniques,
Okay.
but free association is a good place to start.
Okay.
You take a specific part of the dream,
Okay.
like an image, a feeling, a word,
Uh-huh.
and you just let your mind wander, making connections. And just don't censor yourself.
Okay.
Just see what comes up.
Sounds like it takes a lot of self-awareness.
Yeah.
And maybe a therapist to guide you.
Could be helpful.
But could you give us an example of how this free association thing works?
Sure.
Like, what if I dream about being chased?
Okay.
What kind of hidden meaning could that have?
Well, that's a common one.
Yeah.
Being chased often symbolizes a feeling of being overwhelmed
Okay.
or threatened in your waking life. So what comes to mind when you think about being chased? What are you running from?
Okay.
Could be a stressful deadline, a difficult relationship,
Right.
even an aspect of yourself that you're trying to avoid.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So if I'm being chased by a giant deadline monster in my dream, maybe I need to take a look at my work-life balance.
Could be.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But what about those times when we can't remember our dreams at all?
Right.
Does that mean they're not important, or that we're blocking them out for a reason?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And Freud actually addressed that directly.
Yeah.
He believed that forgetting a dream is often the work of resistance.
Resistance.
Yeah, it's like a part of ourselves doesn't want to face what the dream might be trying to tell us.
So even forgetting a dream can be meaningful.
It can be, yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Uh-huh.
But let's say we do remember our dreams,
Okay.
and we've analyzed them, uncovered some hidden wishes or conflicts.
Right.
Then what?
Yeah, what the?
How do we actually use that information to make changes in our lives?
That's where the real work begins.
Okay.
It's one thing to have an aha moment
Right.
But it's another to actually integrate those insights into our lives.
So how do we do that?
Well, it might involve therapy,
Mm-hmm.
self-reflection,
Mm-hmm.
making changes in our relationships or behaviors.
Right.
It depends on the individual and the specific insights.
So it's about taking what we learned from our dreams and using it to create positive change in the real world.
Exactly.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
But what about those times when a dream seems triggered by something physical?
Okay.
Like I ate a weird pizza before bed and dreamt I was flying over a cheese volcano.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Freud addresses that too, right?
He does.
Okay.
He called these somatic dream stimuli
Okay.
and acknowledged that they can definitely play a role.
Uh-huh.
But even then, he argued the dream is still essentially about wish fulfillment.
Really?
Yeah. Think of it this way. Your mind takes that physical sensation
Okay.
and weaves it into a story that satisfies a deeper desire.
So even a cheese volcano dream is about something more than just pizza?
Usually, yes.
That's a relief. I was starting to worry about my diet.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes even wishes that seem unpleasant on the surface can be fulfilling on a deeper level.
Right.
Take those punishment dreams Freud talks about.
Yeah.
Like your dream is scolding you for something.
Tough love from the dream world.
Ouch.
But the interesting thing is, you know, the wish being fulfilled in these punishment dreams isn't coming from the repressed material itself, but from the ego.
The ego.
Yeah, it's the part of ourselves that wants to maintain order and control.
Okay.
It's like your inner critic getting a chance to express itself.
So it's more about seeking balance
Yeah,
than actually enjoying the punishment.
exactly.
Okay. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
We've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
Wish fulfillment, symbolism, physical stimuli, even punishment dreams.
Yeah.
It's starting to feel like a giant puzzle.
It is a bit like a puzzle.
And like any good puzzle.
Yeah.
It takes time and patience to put all the pieces together.
It does.
But remember, these dream work processes Freud describes, they don't just apply to dreams.
Right.
They're active in our waking lives too.
Exactly.
Shaping our thoughts and actions even when we're awake.
That's right.
So learning about dreams isn't just about understanding our sleep lives. It's about understanding ourselves better as human beings.
Yeah. I think that's a great way to put it.
It's almost like dreams are a secret language
Okay.
that our subconscious is using to communicate with us.
Like a code.
But if we can learn to understand that language,
Yeah.
what kind of insights can we gain?
Well, we can start to see those hidden motivations, those repressed desires, those unresolved conflicts that might be influencing us in ways we don't even realize.
So it's like shining a light on those dark corners of our minds.
Exactly.
Okay, that sounds pretty intense,
Yeah.
but also kind of exciting.
It can be both.
If we can understand our dreams, can we actually use that knowledge to improve our lives?
That's the hope.
Okay.
By understanding the language of dreams,
Right.
we can potentially gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and make more conscious, informed choices in our waking lives.
So instead of just being passengers on the roller coaster of life, we can become the drivers.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
Take control of the narrative. Create the life we want to live.
Right.
But remember, it's a journey, not a destination.
Okay.
There's always more to learn, more to discover, more to integrate.
Well, this deep dive has definitely given me a lot to think about.
I'm glad to hear that.
I'm already feeling more curious about my own dreams and what they might be trying to tell me.
That's great.
But before we go,
Yeah.
there's one more thing I have to ask about.
Okay, what's that?
Anxiety dreams.
Ah.
We've all had them.
Uh-huh.
Those dreams that leave us waking up in a cold sweat, heart pounding.
I know exactly what you mean.
Freud has a whole section on anxiety dreams.
He does.
And I have to admit,
Yeah.
it's one of the parts of his work that I struggle with the most.
Okay.
They seem to completely contradict the idea that dreams are wish fulfillments.
I can understand why you'd say that.
Yeah.
Anxiety dreams can be incredibly unsettling.
They are.
Yeah.
So how does he explain them? How can a dream that's terrifying be fulfilling a wish? Okay, so we've been talking about how to analyze our dreams, like detectives, searching for clues and hidden meanings.
Right.
But isn't there also this idea that some dreams are just typical?
Yeah.
Like we've all had that dream where we're back in school and totally unprepared for a test or running late for something important.
Definitely.
Freud talked about these kinds of dreams too, right?
He did.
What did he say about them?
Well, he believed that even those common everyday dreams can offer valuable insights into our deepest fears and desires.
Really?
Yeah. Take the exam dream, for example.
Okay.
It might seem random,
Uh-huh.
but Freud saw it as a reflection of our anxieties
Yeah.
about being judged or found inadequate.
So it's not really about the test itself,
Right.
but about that underlying fear of failure.
Exactly.
And that's like a pretty universal fear, right?
It is.
I mean, we all want to succeed and be accepted.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that this anxiety would show up in our dreams.
Definitely.
Think about those dreams where you're giving a presentation and your clothes fall off,
Oh, yeah.
or you suddenly can't remember your lines.
Right?
It's that same fear of being exposed and judged.
Exactly.
It's like our subconscious is giving us a pop quiz on our deepest insecurities.
Yeah, it is a bit like that.
Okay, what about those dreams where we're being chased?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like everyone has had one of those at some point.
Definitely being chased is a classic dream theme.
It is.
And it often represents a feeling of being overwhelmed or threatened in our waking lives.
Like what kinds of things?
Could be a deadline at work,
Okay.
a conflict in a relationship, even a part of ourselves that we're trying to avoid.
Right.
It's like our dream is saying, hey, pay attention. There's something here you need to deal with.
So if I'm dreaming about being chased by a giant stack of unpaid bills,
Okay.
maybe I need to take a closer look at my finances.
That's a great interpretation.
Or if you're being chased by a shadowy figure, it could represent a repressed fear
Right.
or a part of yourself that you haven't fully acknowledged.
Exactly.
Wow. So even those common, almost cliche dream themes
Yeah.
can have really personal meanings.
It can.
What about those dreams where we're falling? Those could be so intense.
Yeah.
Why do we have those?
Well, Freud saw falling dreams as representing a fear of losing control or failing. You know, that feeling of being powerless and helpless,
Right.
which can be pretty unsettling even in a dream.
It can. And I guess it makes sense since we can't really control what happens in our dreams.
Right.
We're just along for the ride.
Exactly.
But why are these themes so common?
Yeah.
Why do so many people have the same kinds of dreams?
Right.
Even if their individual lives are so different.
Well, Freud believed that these dreams reflect universal human experiences and anxieties. It's like we're all tapping into the same collective unconscious.
A shared reservoir of primal fears and desires.
So even though our individual dreams might be unique, there's a common thread that connects us all.
Exactly.
And it's a reminder that we're not alone in our fears and anxieties.
Yeah.
We're all part of the same human experience.
We are.
But even if we understand why we have these typical dreams, they can still be pretty unsettling.
Definitely waking up from a nightmare about being chased or falling
Right.
can definitely leave you feeling shaken.
It does.
But remember, even those unsettling dreams can offer valuable insights.
Okay.
It's all about learning to listen to the messages they're trying to convey.
So if Freud is right, and our dreams are this incredible window into our unconscious,
Yeah.
what does that mean for how we live our waking lives?
That's a good question.
Should we be analyzing every dream we have?
I don't think it needs to be that complicated.
Okay.
The most important thing is to be curious and open to the possibility that your dreams might be trying to tell you something.
So just pay attention.
Yeah, start paying attention to the recurring themes,
Okay.
the symbols, the emotions that come up in your dreams.
Right.
See if you can find any connections to your waking life.
So it's more about noticing patterns and seeing what resonates with us
Yeah.
than trying to find the right interpretation.
Exactly. It's a journey of self-discovery, and there's no one-size-fits-all approach.
That makes sense.
But I think Freud would say that by listening to our dreams,
Yeah.
we can gain a deeper understanding of ourselves
Okay.
and live more authentic and fulfilling lives.
Well, this has been an incredible journey into the world of dreams.
It has been fun.
I know I'm going to be looking at my dreams in a whole new light from now on.
I hope so.
Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us
You're welcome.
and for guiding us through Freud's fascinating work.
My pleasure.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of dreams.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
We'll catch you next time for another fascinating exploration.